Hello, friends. I want to walk you through some ideas and some things that I look for as the person who's going to grade your work, but also as a way of helping you think about how you learn. I don't know if you have seen the most recent reports, but one of the major things that that companies are looking to find in new hires is the ability to learn. And part of what you have to do is you have to figure out how you learn. So I want to give you some ideas and some thoughts about not just this Module 1 assignment, but the way that maybe you as a person learn. Okay, so here's the basic idea of how this goes, right? You read your Module 1 guide, you then look through all of the resources and read through those about what it means to be in a culture as a creator making art. Okay. Let's think, though, about how that then moves into your Module 1 assignment. So first of all, you get a chance to practice all of this information in the discussion each week. So when you're doing your discussions, those are actually intended to be sort of an informal way of trying out the information. And then the assignment for the week is the more formal way of doing it, which is why it's worth more points. So you make sure that you're using that discussion to really try out maybe ideas that seem a little bit hesitant, you're a little bit concerned that you're not fully understanding it. Use that area as a place to try that. Okay, I want to talk about something called Bloom's taxonomy. This is something that teachers know a lot about, but it's something that I'm going to walk you through because I'm going to be looking for something in your work. So the first level, this is about thinking. And the higher you get up on the triangle, the harder the thinking is. So in other words, it's a lot harder to create brand new ideas from scratch than it is to just remember things. So if I said to you, what is this class about? And you said, it's about creative works and the arts. You would be remembering that. But if I said to you, I would like for you to create an interpretive dance about what this class is about, that is a much harder thing to accomplish. Not just because you're going to have to make an interpretive dance, but because it would require a lot more thinking. If I move this way, would it mean creative works? How would I show books? How would I show films? And this, you would have to start merging a lot of ideas together. And that's what this does. This triangle moves you up from the very easiest level of thinking to the very hardest. So when we look at your assignment this week, let's take a look at these first questions. How is the subject of the creative work a part of the layers of meaning? So when we go to the guide and we think about layers of meaning, we are thinking, obviously, about things like, what is the medium? Who is the creator? When were they creating this? And we especially come to this particular idea, right? The creative work is the product of a creator who is the product of a culture and what they value. So a perfectly acceptable answer is what I just said. The creative work is the product of a creator, which is the product of a culture. But you'll notice I'm actually pointing to the information in your module, right? Which means that I am remembering it. I'm moving up a little bit by explaining it possibly, but really you have to move up even further to really demonstrate that you've understood the information. It's only when you start using that information for yourself that it really works. So this is the level that I look for the proficient and excellent categories in your rubrics. I want to see you apply it. So if I saw an answer that said, a creative work is the product of a creator, which is the product of a culture, your rubric says, the needs improvement says you need more details and or examples. And that's what we're talking about here. So if I said the creative work is the product of a creator, which is the product of a culture, I would follow it up for a full A grade with, for example, the book The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins, which is a Victorian classic, is the product of a creator who was interested in making a lot of money, which is true. And he was the product of a Victorian culture obsessed with mysteries and the way that they spun out. There we go. One sentence just to show me that you can apply what you're thinking. Now, that doesn't mean you need to do that all the time, but I should see that idea that you can apply these thoughts and ideas, especially through these two things. Think about this one. How would experiencing the work be different depending on the means of transmission? Give me an example. So you might say, well, the means of transition changes how we view the topic. There's a very famous quote from Marshall McLuhan that says the medium is the message, which means the way that it's transmitted actually tells you how to think about it. So a book telling a story is very different from the way a film tells a story. That uses our eyes, it uses a soundtrack to evoke our emotions, the film. A book, on the other hand, will tell us about the history of the character and its background and what that looks like. Okay, so far I've remembered what it said, I have explained it, and now I would say, for example, the Harry Potter books go into a lot more detail about what Harry Potter is thinking and feeling, whereas the film shows us more of his expressions as he's experiencing those emotions. Done. One sentence, right? So it's not as though I want you to add like a full creative work analysis, but I want you to show me that you're moving past just these basic sort of telling me what the module told you into using it for yourself. Because as we go through this class, we're actually going to move also into this analyze and evaluate stage. So we need to be moving into those higher levels as quickly as possible. Okay, great. This is also going to really help when you get to here, because this is a reflective piece. So where you're thinking about how all of this works and how you've seen this play out yourself in interpreting a creative work. That might mean reinterpreting a creative work that you've already experienced. That might mean thinking about something, but for sure, this is a place where those examples are going to help you talk about why those layers are important. I hope that's helpful. As always, please reach out and let me know if you have any questions. I am more than happy to walk through these things with you.